killing people. I had sex with your wife, and not in those words. But he's talking about, I want to see you deceased.
No doubt. To live and die in L.A., California. What you say about Los Angeles? Still the only place for me. It never rains in the sun. To live and die in L.A., where every day we try to fatten our pockets. I stick and hustle for the cash, so it's hard to knock it. Everybody got their own thing, currency chasing. Worldwide through the hard times, worrying faces. Shed tears as we bury getting close to heart. What was a friend, now a ghost in the dark. Cold part about it, getting got smoked by a fiend. Trying to floss on them, blind to a broken man's dream. A hard lesson, court cases keep them guessing. Plea bargain ain't the option now, so I'm stressing. Cost me more to be free than a life in the pen. Making money off of cuss words, writing again. Learn how to think ahead, so I fight with my pen. Late night down, sunset, like in the zen. What's the worst they can do to me? Got me lost in hell to live and die in L.A. On bail, my angels.
KBLA Talk 1580. Wow, there's a lot going on, and I'm so happy to have my friend and colleague in the building, finally, an attorney too, because I need help. All these legal matters that are on the docket today. She's been a human and civil rights attorney with a specialty in criminal defense since 1994. As a graduate of Cornell University with a law degree from UCLA. She worked with Chokwe Lumumba at the Black Law Institute. She is just a social justice attorney who has done all kinds of work with anti-racist organization, also runs the Crenshaw Legal Clinic. In addition to all that, she is executive director of Black Alliance for Just Immigration. Attorney Nana Gyamfi, good morning.
Good morning. Good to be on.
Great to have you on. You know, we're back to this best of times, worst of times theme. It seems to be the 2022-2023 conversation. So let's start with the delightful, which is the arraignment of the 45th president. At least it was delightful to me, President Donald Trump. 37 charges. These are federal charges. This is not the Georgia case where where they're talking about his election interference. This is not New York going after his organization for cheating on their taxes and their other financial statements. This is not E. Jean Carroll suing him for sexually abusing her, of which he was found liable, and there's still another one in the pipeline there. It's not the Department of Justice case around the attempted coup at the Capitol on January 6th. This is about classified documents. How did this land for you, this arraignment?
Well, okay. So first of all, it's 37 counts. Well, I'm going to even go behind. Let me step back even further. At this, I think that it is shocking to Trump. I think it is shocking to his people. I think it is shocking to people sort of in his echelon, right? Rich white men that have achieved a certain level within this society to ever be charged with anything. So let's just first say that.
Hello.
Period. I mean, it's like these laws are not meant for them. When people talk about no one is above the law, we know that is a lie. There are plenty of people who are running around here in that echelon doing all kinds of things, and everybody and their friends know it, and nothing is happening to them. So that in itself is very shocking, right, in terms of on a structural systemic type of piece. And which is why you see some pushback where people are saying, oh, he's the president, you can't do that. But you can go and drag Noriega, who is president of a country, and come and, prosecute him here in the United States and put him in prison. But the idea that a U.S. president, in particular, a white U.S. president, because if this was President Obama, please, no one would be confused and everyone would think this was perfectly normal. But right? They'd be like, yeah, we knew it was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? We knew it, criminal in the White House. But since it is not, even with all that we know that Trump has done, it still is it's shaking in their world. Trust and believe. They're all calling each other and trying to figure out how the heck this could even happen. Because of 37 charges, first of all, that's what the feds do when they want to get you. When they don't want to get you, they charge you with one or two things, three things maybe. But it's clear they want something to land. The nature of the charges are such that they are very serious. This is not low-level type stuff. They're charging him with stuff that is real. And so that also adds, I think, to the shocking nature of it for a lot of people that are in that echelon. I think that he knows that he's in trouble. I mean, even the former Attorney General Bill Barr is running around here talking about he's toast if even a quarter of these charges are found to be true, or that he's convicted of them, proven beyond a reasonable doubt. And so I think it's clear, and he has the news that, hey, this is not something you're just going to bully your way out of. And so we'll see how it proceeds from here. But this is serious business, and I think it's been made clear to him that this is serious business.
Yeah, and the reports that we're getting is that, he was calm and, I don't know, borderline dignified in court. But then he does what he always does, which is go out and start talking smack, talking about the special counsel, Jack Smith, and really just ranting and raving. And I mean, again, not even Barack Obama, not even a black person, a regular white person that isn't Trump, doesn't get to just talk about prosecutors, right, and judges and stuff and not have any repercussions for their case. Could this actually damage the Teflon Don?
Well, I don't know, because I think generally, I'm a criminal defense attorney. So obviously the defense, the defendant, the person who's accused, and the person's attorney, yeah, they're going to say, I'm innocent, I didn't do this, this is a setup, if that's in fact, what they're putting out there into the world. And I don't think that that's strange. He has a way of talking and of doing things and of going after people and of being insulting and humiliating and, all of that, dehumanizing, and has the big mic that maybe the average person doesn't have. But that part, again, I think is not so it's not so strange. Going after the prosecutor or talking about the prosecutor again, not so strange. It's the mic that he has. I think that the way that he acts, and I've said this, before the indictment came out, when people were talking about the indictment coming out, I'm like, look, this dude, if he doesn't know how to do anything, he knows how to use things like this to make his situation even better. He does not give up on himself, period.
That's one way to look at it.
He doesn't give up on himself. I saw a report that he was 20 points ahead before the indictment, and after 20 points ahead of DeSatan, and after the indictment, now he's 30 points ahead of DeSatan.
Yeah.
He knows how to work this stuff. And so his hope is they can drag this out. He can get elected president, do some new thing that's never been done before, but, that's his MO, and pardon himself, and then move on with his life.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I get what you're saying, but he called the prosecutor a deranged lunatic, a thug, a raging, uncontrolled Trump hater, and on and on and on. If I'm that guy, I'm gonna. Can we slap some enhancements on here? Can we get another 10 charges? I don't know. I'm petty like that. I'm talking with attorney Nana Jaffe, 800-920-1580. If you want to join the conversation, it's KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to gear with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
The Los Angeles Urban League helps African American and others in underserved communities achieve true social parity, economic self-reliance, and civil rights. For over 100 years, Los Angeles Urban League has ensured our communities have access to careers with living wages, opportunities to start and grow businesses, and clear pathways to personal and professional growth. Programs like BizCamp, Construction Career Academy, Bob Business Ready, and B-Warp. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Program are examples of the ongoing events designed to make our centennial mission to rebuild Black Wall Street right here in LA a reality. To sign up for our newsletter or to support the Los Angeles Urban League with your time, talents, and donations, visit laul.org. That's laul.org. The Los Angeles Urban League is a proud sponsor of Urban Family Focus, Saturdays at 7 a.m. on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back to the quickest podcast ever, brought to you by Kohl's.
Today's topic, Father's Day.
Yeah, I may have procrastinated a bit on getting my dad a gift.
Honestly, same, but Kohl's saved the day. I found great gifts my dad will use every day, like comfy Nike athleisure.
Oh, he's gonna love that.
But that's not even the best part. With the 15% off going on, I got him a stylish shirt for just $9.99 and saved extra on some grilling gear, too.
Okay, say no more. Kohl's, here I come.
Select styles. Offer ends June 18th. Nike coupons do not apply. See store or kohls.com for details.
At the United States Postal Service, we're reinventing our network to help keep your business moving. With new shipping options to deliver better value, greater flexibility to conveniently reach your customers, more confident shipping with new informed delivery features, and new electric vehicles for a cleaner, brighter future. Fast, reliable, perfectly orchestrated. The United States Postal Service, delivering for America. Learn more at USPS.com/moving forward.
Are you looking to steer your career in a new direction? Driving for Culver City Bus can be your ticket to a long-lasting career with excellent benefits and paid training. Culver City Bus is looking for customer service and safety-minded bus operators to join the growing team. Culver City Bus offers on-the-job training starting at $19.10 per hour, uniform allowance, and health benefits. Culver City Bus is a great employer. Let Culver City Bus connect you with an essential service job. If you enjoy driving, seek real opportunities for career advancement, and passionate about making a difference in the community, then you are invited to join the Culver City Bus team. Start your journey today by submitting an application at culvercity.org/job. For more info, visit culvercitybus.com or call live customer service operators at 310-253-6500.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
And we're talking with attorney Nana Jomfi. There's so many legal questions swirling around this Donald J. Trump indictment, but also the situation here locally with Councilmember Curran Price being hit with charges, some serious charges as well. So I know folks have questions. I do as well. When it comes to Trump, we talked about this a little bit with Gerald Horne, the scholar, but he also has he's got a law degree, just doesn't have he didn't pass the bar in practice. But he was saying that, that even if the former president were to go to jail, he can still be president of the United States. And also he pointed out that if Trump, let's say he was reelected and pardoned himself, if he happens to be convicted on state charges, i.e. what is being brought in Georgia, and now that's been expanded to include Texas and Washington and D.C., he would not be able to pardon himself of those state charges.
Correct. Yeah, because there's a different system. The federal system is the federal system. That's one that's national. Every state has its own system, and it doesn't. The federal system doesn't all of a sudden take over the state system, right? And so, exactly correct. If in fact he is convicted of any of the state charges or the charges in D.C., even though D.C. is not a state, that's another story, free D.C., he would still be punished under those systems. On the other hand, and he can go to jail and still run for president. I think, oh my gosh, I'm going to say the name wrong, but I believe it was Eugene Debs, who was a working, he was in jail and he was running for president, you know what I'm saying? Well, he was inside. So, yes, you can still do that. And likely, given the people that he has, they would still vote for him. Again, he has that kind of pull on these folks, and it's something that he can also use as cachet. I mean, I'm sure that if he were to go to jail, on the chance that that were to happen, that he would also make some negotiation with DeSatan and say, look, I'll throw my folks to you, but here's what I want in exchange. And DeSatan would run for that.
Right, and pardon him, and bend the knee, as they say. Morris from Inglewood, you're on with Attorney Nana Jomfi.
Good morning to everybody within the sound of my voice. Attorney Nana Jomfi, I've got an idea that I think might, be one way out for everybody. Donald Trump is not fit to stand trial, which means he would not be fit to be the U.S. president. He wouldn't have to go to jail. We could just put a brace on him, put him down in Mar-a-Lago. I kind of see that coming out of Florida. What would your opinion be? Thank you very much.
I mean, I don't think they're going to say that he's not fit to stand trial, and I don't think he's going to say that he's not fit to stand trial, because remember, he is more fit than the average 25-year-old professional athlete. Don't forget that.
Oh, yeah, according to him. That. Right.
According to him. Don't forget that. No one is fitter. He is Marvel-level superhero fit. And particularly mentally, he's not gonna give that up. You know what I mean?
We have the best
he's not
people.
Give that up.
Right.
Exactly.
But I mean, the reality is that if you look at the case in New York, what they're saying is that he says the Trump organization habitually inflates the property value of properties when they're seeking loans and deflates the value when they're getting ready to pay taxes. So that could also apply to his fitness. He's Captain America when it's time to run for office, but when it's time to go to jail, suddenly he's a frail 70-something.
Oh yeah, and again, we know this. We know how he is. Even the way that he's in the courtroom, and he's very quiet, and he's very somber, and he's just kind of trying to get it over with. And these things that people who are inside the room describe, because they don't allow you to televise from federal court. And then he comes out, and he's just yelling and screaming and flamboyant and everything but somber and quiet. This is him. This is the games that he plays. These are games that have served him for 70 years. And, he's not just giving them up tomorrow. The thing really is, looking at the special prosecutor, Jack Smith, and the rest of the prosecution team, looking at the judge that's going to be in this case. And, in these other cases, how are they going to respond? Are they going to respond, be creative in how they deal with him, or are they going to do what he expects them to do and therefore allow him to continue to do what he's doing?
Man, there's so much to unpack here. I feel like the Republican Party is, like you said, they've been kind of defending him, but then there's a lot of flip-flopping going on. It's like I feel like they are in disarray, even though they should be used to this. This is already, 2 impeachments, a second indictment, and we could see 2 more before the year is over, right?
Right. I mean, they've been in disarray, but they just appear to be in lockstep, and have appeared to be in lockstep because their leadership, shows that, right? And so whether it's McConnell, McCarthy, all the mix, they, have kind of made it clear that, hey, we're operating lockstep and in this particular way. But there's always been a crew of them that are like, what is going on and how did this happen, right? And the crew is not necessarily a crew that I would love, like the, Cheneys and the who and the whats, but it's certainly people who are considered to be stoic, conservative Republicans who still have been saying, nah, this is not the way that we need to go. And I think in this moment, they should be and are, to some degree, taking advantage of this space to be able to say, hey, look, as we said, this is not going the way it needs to go, and we need to do something different. But it's going to be a tough discussion, because there's so much energy that is generated and, is sort of tornado level force around the Trumpism, the Satanism, the Abbottism, that it's hard for them to break apart from that in order to at least be on a road that they can do some kind of controlling of.
Yeah, and you're right. He is strategic in turning these, what most people would consider career enders into advantages. I mean, to me, the fact that the first thing he does is go to a Spanish language broadcaster in South Florida, and then he says he's comparing his plight to what you'd see in dictatorships, he says, like Cuba or Venezuela, then heads right to a Cuban restaurant so he can try to galvanize this conservative, really far right-wing reactionary group of Latinos that are in Florida as part of, his walk out from the courtroom. I mean, to me, that is incredibly cynical.
No, it is. And, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised when you see some of these black people that are aligned with him trying to make him Mumia. Like, don't be surprised.
Oh, Lord. Mumia Abu Jamal.
Right. They try to make him this political prisoner, right? This political case with this political, because the language that they're using in terms of the far right, I mean, that is our language. When I say our, I'm talking about the language of those of us that are fighting to get the political prisoners, black radical and other political prisoners free. That's the same language that they're using, right? Just like the people that were engaged in the insurrection suddenly understood that jail was terrible and conditions were horrible and this, that, and the other. And they just started using our language. And that's the language that they are using and adopting and twisting and turning in their favor. And do not be surprised when you see not just those particular Cubans and Venezuelans who may or may not be black, but African Americans, black migrants from the continent and the Caribbean, now speaking that same kind of language, using the language that we use around our political prisoners and the ways in which government has used, criminalization against us in favor of this Donald Trump.
Honestly, I think they copy us on everything. They can't make up their own slogan. It's got to be Blue Lives Matter or All Lives Matter. You know what I mean? It's got to be just use your own creativity, but they do it very brilliantly. And I was happy to see us do that one time with the Obamacare. Oh, you want to call it Obamacare? Okay, we're going to give him credit. Let's talk about LA for a second here. Councilmember Curran Price facing 10 counts, embezzlement, and conflict of interest. And these are serious charges. And maybe you can answer this, Attorney Nana Jomfi, because this was confusing to me. After the FBI did an investigation, 2018, the charges against Huizar come out of that. The charges against Englander, they both pleaded guilty, come out of that. Curran Price's name was mentioned, but he was not charged. Why would the district attorney turn around and bring a case?
Well, again, the different system. There's a federal system and there's the state system, which
right.
The district attorney is in the state system. So whatever's happening on the federal level doesn't determine what's going to happen on the state level, right? It's like Ed Buck. They didn't hardly do nothing on Ed Buck on the state level, and then the feds came in and picked up the case. So this is just the reverse in a way, where the feds have gone in, they've done their investigation based upon federal charges, right? Because that's the other thing. The feds are going to charge federal charges. And so they may or may not, we don't know, have decided that federal charges were not warranted. The district attorney's office apparently was doing their own investigation and has decided that they want to move forward on these state charges. Now, putting on my political scientist hat,
right? That's what I was going for.
I always find it very interesting, particularly with folks that are in elected office. I call it RIP. It's like revelation, investigation, prosecution. But it usually comes as a result of something that's happening on a political space in a political way. And so it's interesting and really, wanting to see what Councilman Price, or maybe not him, but folks around him have to say about what the reason is that they feel politically that this is happening in this moment. Because, again, go ahead, sorry.
No, I mean, that's really what the question was, right? Because, I know that there's state charges and they're federal charges, but why? What is the district attorney seeking to prove here? Or what is he, he says we're going to vigorously root out corruption wherever it lies. Yeah, but every DA ever in the history of ever says that. So what's the real story?
Right, and because the thing is that you cannot tell me, which is where this RIP comes from, you can't tell me that if we line up all of these council people, maybe not the people that just got here because they just got here, that you're doing this vigorous investigation of all of those people. That's what if you're trying to root out something, right? You look at everybody and you do this intensive, investigation of everyone. We know that's not what's happening. So it's definitely some political motivation. The question is, what is the political motivation? And I think that will come out more as this prosecution, proceeds. We'll see how much of a persecution it might actually be. Honestly,
I wish they would really step it up. You want to prove something, file some charges against Kevin De Leon. That would be a gift to the city. Corrupt, racist, disgraced council member Kevin De Leon. Surely, if you did a vigorous investigation, you can find some conflict of interest, because apparently being not anti-indigenous, white supremacist, anti-renter is not a crime in America. But surely there has to be a conflict of interest or something, some charges that you could bring. As you said, that is the question. Are thorough investigations being done out of every single council member that was sitting in the council at the time when the feds launched theirs or when the DA launched theirs? Got news, traffic, and sports. Then I want to, so many things to talk about with attorney Nana Giamfi. KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. The Republican-led House is expected to vote on a measure to censure California Congressman Adam Schiff this week. The censure is due to Schiff's role in investigations into alleged ties between former President Trump's 2016 campaign and Russia. The resolution also seeks to fine Schiff, who was the former House Intelligence Committee chairman, $16 million. Fort Polk in Louisiana has been renamed for a black war hero, William Henry Johnson. Sergeant Johnson was a North Carolina native, later of New York, who posthumously received the Medal of Honor for his actions in World War I. Johnson killed 4 German soldiers and wounded a dozen more after being wounded more than 20 times. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Kickstart your imagination with Audible. Hear celebrity and music memoirs, mysteries, true crime, and more. Audible is the home of storytelling, audiobooks, podcasts, and originals. Sign up for a free trial at audible.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers are celebrating Black Heritage Night tonight at Dodger Stadium. Community organizations in LA were able to buy group tickets at a discount price. Among the groups attending are members of the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. The ticket package includes a Mookie Betts Heritage jersey. Betts is one of 2 Black American players on the Dodgers roster, along with Jason Haywood. The Dodgers also have one of Major League Baseball's 2 Black managers in Dave Roberts. Former Dodger star Dusty Baker manages the Houston Astros. The Dodgers are playing the Chicago White Sox tonight. First pitch at 7:10. The TV audience for the NBA Finals on ABC was down 6.4% from last year. The 5 games featuring the Denver Nuggets and Miami Heat averaged 11.6 million on ABC. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Everybody in the house, make some noise!
Is there a better day of the year to celebrate the anniversary of the only unapologetically progressive talk station west of the Mississippi, focused on issues that impact the Black community?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
We think not. A station that amplifies Black voices like yours with hosts and guests who look and sound like you. Celebrating our 2nd anniversary on Juneteenth. We're KBLA Talk 1580. And you ain't seen nothing yet.
If your Medi-Cal is ending, Cover California is here to help. Cover California is a service from the state that helps you get affordable health insurance. In many cases, at no cost to you, just like with Medi-Cal. We have quality health plans, and we'll help you every step of the way to get the one that works for you and your family. So, if you're no longer eligible for Medi-Cal, check out Cover California. We'll keep you covered. Learn more at coveredca.com.
Hey y'all, Mona Swain here from Target's new YouTube series, My Cart is Full, where we feature Black founders and creators highlighting their connection to our community. As an actor and content creator, I love using my voice to inspire young Black women who look like me. When it comes to feeding my shine, seeing myself reflected in Black-owned and founded products at Target brings me joy. Together, we are Black Beyond Measure. Learn more at target.com/Black Beyond Measure.
Here are 3 ways to commemorate Juneteenth from AARP. 1. Learn the full history. Juneteenth was the end of slavery, but there's more. Begin by learning the whole story. 2. Celebrate. Celebrating our freedom should be a party with a purpose, with family, friends, fellowship, and oh yeah, food. 3. Support Black-owned business. In 1865, we had little to nothing, but as a people, we've been richly blessed. Express your gratitude by supporting our Black-owned businesses.
What would you call a joy that is as solemn as it is sweet and knows no bounds? A joy that's beautifully rooted in soul and resilience. This is Black joy, a joy that reflects pride and honor despite every challenge. AARP believes the power of Black joy is limitless, and we celebrate this joy supreme. Join us in celebrating Black joy at aarp.org/Black community.
It's our anniversary.
Every weekday during the month of June, we're giving away gear from the KBLA.store to say thank you for your support of KBLA Talk 1580 as we celebrate our 2nd anniversary. Each weekday, a different host will be giving away fresh merch to one lucky caller. All you have to do is keep it locked to KBLA Talk 1580 throughout the day, and our host will tell you when to dial in and when. It's our way of showing appreciation to you for helping make KBLA Talk 1580 the most trusted, credible, and reliable source of information for listeners just like you. Here's hoping you'll be one of our lucky winners. But you can always head over to the KBLA.store anytime for the best in KBLA Talk 1580 gear for yourself and great gift ideas. Now, celebrating 2 years of being your go-to, we're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black. Find a righteous rage, and don't be afraid to say what you see. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
A big congratulations going out to Marcia Jackson of Westmount. She says she listens every day and watches on YouTube. So what's up, Marcia? She is the winner of our KBLA Talk 1580 swag bag, and she's going to our exclusive anniversary party. That's on Monday, Juneteenth. That's going to have music, food, artists, dancing. Maybe you'll cut a rug with Mr. Smiley. Lots of fun. We're celebrating our 2nd anniversary. Just keep listening. It's not too late to win. We are giving away swag bags full of KBLA gear and party tickets in all around the clock, from Dominique DiPrima to Danny Morrison, and Zoe Williams, Reva Martin, and everybody in between. You can listen and win. Congratulations, Marcia, from your friends at KBLA Talk 1580. Talking with attorney Nana Jomfi, who is also the executive director of the Black Alliance for Just Immigration. I got questions about this. I got questions about that. We were speaking on Curran Price, and Mr. Price was the chair of the Economic and Community Development Committee and also the Olympics and Paralympics Committee. He's already stepped down from those duties. He will be suspended, according to Council Member Paul Krikorian, who's the president of the council, probably by the end of this week, if not early next week, by the time they go through the process. Is this a blow to Black political power in Los Angeles? Price is out of a majority Latino district, more than likely. His challengers were Latino, more than likely. Moving forward, it will not have Black representation.
I mean, it's definitely a blow. There's no question about that. Just the way that the city council is structured. And look, last fall, we got, just bubbling to the surface and through with what happened with that disgraceful and shouldn't be there no more, Kevin Get Out De Leon, and others. And, what's happening. I mean, we're talking about people, a person, at least one person at this point, sitting on city council right now, who was literally, intentionally trying to figure out how to reduce Black representation, how to reduce Black electoral power. Now, this person is on the council right now as this is happening. And so, we know that this is going to be something that's going to have impact, at least immediately. There's that gulf, right? There's that loss. I think they're not likely to replace Councilman Price. I think they're going to do what they did with Nuri Martinez and have the space open and then try to do some kind of special election. And so that means that we won't have, right, that representation that's there. I don't think they're going to do what they did with Councilwoman Hutt and, bring someone in. And so I think there's going to be that break there. And then also who he is. Like, this is not someone who just got there. Whether we're talking about city council, but also just in terms of political electoral space. And so it is, there's something that's not there. It definitely creates a gulf. There's definitely a hole. And it's going to be important in terms of Black folks that are in that district to really organize and make sure that they're not erased in terms of policy, in terms of, benefits, all the things that you expect to come from a council district while that special election gets set up.
Let's go to Cheryl calling us from Midtown. Good morning, Cheryl.
Hi. I was just curious about the illegality of what Kevin De Leon is accused of, or if he's even accused of anything. They were just caught on tape gabbing among themselves about what your guest just said about making plans to kind of move assets around, to, I guess, enhance the Latino districts. That's the only way I can put it. And I want to know, in and of itself, is that illegal? Because I guess I heard just a very small portion of the tape, and I'm trying to figure out. I essentially heard the men laughing.
Yeah, I'm laughing because I listened to the doggone thing twice, and that was about as much as I could take. You want to address this, Attorney Nana Gyamfi? She's saying, that she doesn't think what De Leon did was illegal.
Well, no, I think that there are illegalities that occurred there. Yes, I think that gerrymandering as an elected official is illegal. And I think that, therefore, when you are attempting to gerrymander, because attempted crimes are still crimes, right? So I think when you're attempting to gerrymander, I think that, yes, that's illegal. But more importantly, really, Dominique and Cheryl, I think that these folks use these laws the way they want to use these laws. And if, in fact, it was something that the district attorney felt was politically, something that he could get away with easily, I think that we would find indictments against Kevin De Leon. I think that the reason that those indictments have not happened is because of the machine that is behind Kevin De Leon and the district attorney, which also some of that machine serves the district attorney. And I think that the district attorney doesn't want to make that move because, it feels like most folks do, that they got Black folks in the bag. So let's see.
Well, that's an interesting point. I mean, I've been wishing all along that someone would. Can it be conspiracy? Yet you brought up gerrymandering. If you investigate somebody like him, who is clearly very arrogant and has no love for even himself, right? Because they were insulting him for being indigenous, and he didn't even stand up for himself. I'm pretty sure they could find some impropriety, but nobody's doing it. Cheryl?
Yeah, it's just an investigation. Like, we're not even looking for people to be persecuted, right?
Oh.
But you're not even investigating people when we see that something happened that they felt they needed to do in secret. You know what I mean? They didn't do it in the public square. Why?
Well, you know what? I am looking for people to be persecuted and prosecuted. Let's go to Mimi from Florida. Good morning. If by people we mean Kevin De Leon. Good morning, Mimi.
Good morning, Dominique. Good morning, everyone.
What's on your mind?
Well, I have a serious question. I'm from Florida, and I can't really talk because I'm sadly familiar with shady politicians. But I want to know what's going on with the black politicians in Los Angeles. It almost seems like they're being targeted.
Well, it's hard to make that sweeping statement. We have had 4 city council members criminally charged in the past 4 years. 1 was Latino, 1 was white, 2 were black. I think LA has a long history of taking down black politicians. When I think about the mayor of Compton, actually 2 mayors of Compton, Omar Bradley and I can't remember the other guy's name, Walter. It'll come back to me. Also, council member Martin Ludlow. I mean, there's a long list, but I don't know if this is that because it seems to be rippling through the entire building. What are your thoughts, Attorney Jomfy?
Yeah, I don't know that we have the information to be able to say it's that either. I do think it's political, but I don't know that it's necessarily racial in nature. But our situation is so fragile in the electoral space. As we have more and more black folks leaving, and we have less and less, black political electoral space, it just is, you can't afford to lose too many people before you're suddenly completely marginalized.
Walter Tucker, that's the name I was trying to think of. Go ahead, Mimi. You had a response?
Yes, I asked because, I from Florida, I've been, kind of paying attention to the Los Angeles political stories that recently y'all have been talking about. And I've noticed that, the Latino council people, that story kind of came and went, but this, is it the Ridley case? Y'all have been talking about that consistently. So,
well, because Council Member Martinez stepped down, right? She stepped down as president. So that ended that conversation for the most part, although we still do talk about it. Then Cedillo was voted out, so he went away. Kevin De Leon we still talk about because he refuses to leave. But Mark Ridley Thomas, besides from being a beloved and super effective public servant, is also appealing his case, right? So it's not all the way over. And I mean, I don't know if that's how you would perceive it, Attorney Jomfy, but I think that may be one reason why we talk more about Ridley Thomas than the others.
Yeah, I mean, and they have cases. I mean, the thing is that I think that if, in fact, Martinez, Cedillo, De Leon had been charged with something, then probably you would hear more of the conversation. And that, I think it goes back to the question that Dominique has raised. It's like, okay, why are certain people being charged, other people not being charged? And but I don't think it just falls strictly on racial lines. There's a politic about it. And of course, race is involved, is also part of politics, right? So it's not that it's totally separate, but there's definitely political power plays that are happening.
Yeah, Mimi, I appreciate you following us. And hey, look, if it gets too crazy over there, it's still better over here, trust. we don't get it twisted. We still got plenty clout as progressives, as black people, and as people in coalitions, BIPOC people. Attorney Nana Jomfy, I have to ask you when we come forward, I have to ask you, to update us on black immigration. The story of Anadith Reyes Alvarez really just hurt my heart. Love to hear your thoughts on that and what it really means for where we are with immigration. KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Hi, it's Dominique DiPrima from KBLA Talk 1580. It's going down on Juneteenth weekend, Saturday, June 17th at 11 a.m. for the Ribbon Cutting and Street Festival for the New Orleans Corridor in Los Angeles. You know it. It's about time this important part of our story, our culture, was recognized by LA. Join Mayor Karen Bass, New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell, Councilwoman Heather Hutt, and Grammy Award-winning musicians Irvin Mayfield, Terrace Martin, and 1,500 or Nothing for an amazing celebration. Go to NOLA2LAtickets.org to claim your free ticket. That's NOLA2LAtickets.org. I'll be your MC, and I will see you there. Saturday, June 17th at 11 a.m. It's the New Orleans Corridor in LA for Juneteenth 2023.
Gotta stay fresh, my. I don't shop with a rest bar.
Have you visited us online for the grand opening of KBLA.store? For the best in new merch, gift ideas, books, media, and more, log on to KBLA.store. Be sure to check out our KBLA team favorites at KBLA.store today. That's KBLA.store for all the official merch on your favorite talk radio station, KBLA Talk 1580.
If you're a business owner or lead a nonprofit that's between 26 and 49 employees, please listen. Lendistry is proud to announce a new program whereby small businesses and nonprofits may qualify for reimbursement of COVID sick leave expenses incurred in 2021 or 2022. This program is administered by the California Office of the Small Business Advocate. Eligibility criteria apply and funding is limited. For more information, visit COVIDPaidSick.com. If you're a business owner or lead a nonprofit that has between 26 and 49 employees, please listen. Lendistry is proud to announce a new program whereby small businesses and nonprofits may qualify for reimbursement of COVID sick leave expenses incurred in 2021 or 2022. This program is administered by the California Office of the Small Business Advocate. For more information, visit COVIDPaidSick.com.
We're not for everybody, but we're for everybody. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
Okay, just really quick question here before we talk about Anadith, attorney Nana Gyamfi. I remember a long time ago when I was hosting the front page, we did a show about people committing crimes that they don't know are crimes. And I'm thinking about Council Member Price being maybe not divorced, or maybe it's not clear if he was fully divorced and then his current wife who he married is getting benefits. Could that be one of those situations? It's a crime, but you don't even realize that it's a crime or the severity of it?
Oh, yeah. Look, I teach whole classes on that. And the thing is that, of course, the way that this country operates, it's like, oh, yeah, you didn't know it's a crime, too bad for you. And you still are going to have to fight. You know, you're still going to have to fight, and you're going to have to push back. But again, I think it's going to be very interesting to see, you know, how these charges shake out and to get a better understanding of what really is at the bottom of all of this.
Yeah. I've talked about this a lot. An 8-year-old girl, for many weeks, they weren't showing her picture. Anadith Reyes Alvarez, who was a Panamanian Honduran 8-year-old, died in Border Patrol custody in Texas. When you see the picture, she's clearly a little black girl. You know, what does this say about the state of immigration? There's been a lot of hysteria about being supposedly overrun since that Rule 42 ended. Where are we with the black immigration story, which is your portfolio as head of BAJI, Black Alliance for Just Immigration?
Yeah, thank you so very much, you know, for lifting up what happened to Anais. There's so many folks that did not do that, and so really appreciating that. Title 42, which was the order that Trump had put in to try use COVID to try to keep people from being able to assert their right to asylum, which is a right under U.S. law and international law, did finally end, quote unquote. However, in the meantime, the Biden administration had erected a lot of other rules, and the big mass of folks that they thought were going to be coming across the border turned out to be not what was happening. But you did have people that were already at the border and have been at the border for a long time, including Anais's family, that came from Panama. She was born in Panama, Honduran, and looked like little Nana Gyamfi, right, when I look at the pictures. So just for, you know, folks that are listening that may have some notion, because, you know, this conversation about who's black, who's not black, the girl, clearly little black girl, who had sickle cell and who exhibited symptoms of sickle cell while she was being held with her mother, and her father's held too, but they don't put you all together, by Customs and Border Protection. They're supposed to only hold people for 72 hours, end up holding these folks for over a week. They basically allowed her, and, just sadly, to suffocate to death. Like, she was in sickle cell crisis. Her mother kept taking her and trying to get her to get help. They kept sending them back. They knew that she had sickle cell. And so it's really just indicative of what happens with Black migrants, right? So it's like you have this issue that is a Black issue for the most part in the sense of sickle cell. And the way that they treated her or didn't treat her, right, and allowed her to die, the neglect is really just emblematic of what happens to Black migrants over and over again, whether we're talking about, Black migrants trying to come into this country on a plane or Black migrants trying to come into this country, by foot across the border. And so a tragedy that speaks to all of the hundreds of tragedies, thousands of tragedies that occur because of the Blackness of Black migrants specifically. It's not because they're immigrants, because the Ukrainian children were not left there to die. They were allowed to come into this country and be helped. It is the Black children that cannot be helped.
Talking with Attorney Nana Gyamfi. When we come forward, I want to hand the mic to you, and you can give us your message from Baji, whatever you want to leave us with today. A lot of folks probably feeling discouraged also, as I am, at the incredibly sad news about Councilmember Curran Price. That's next on KBLA Talk 1580.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for voting rights. When We All Vote is a leading national nonpartisan initiative on a mission to change the culture around voting and to increase participation in each and every election by helping to close the race and age gap. Created by Michelle Obama, When We All Vote brings together individuals, institutions, brands, and organizations to register new voters across the country and advance civic education for the entire family and voters of every age to build an informed and engaged electorate for today and generations to come. When We All Vote empowers their supporters and volunteers to take action through voting, advocating for their rights, and holding their elected officials accountable. Please visit whenweallvote.org to stand up for your rights, voting rights. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Sunday, June 18th, come out to Africa Town in Lamert Park for the Juneteenth Independence Revolution commemoration. The Independence Revolution will be part of a 3-day weekend to celebrate Juneteenth. Join in the national hashtag Wave of Freedom, where Black people across the country will stand in solidarity to demand reparations for Black American descendants of slavery. Hear from the frontline organizations who are fighting for better conditions for Black LA. Bring your dad to be part of the Honor Thy Fathers ceremony, which will acknowledge dozens of Black fathers in the community. See performances from some of LA's top local artists. Shop with a variety of local Black merchants selling food, clothes, art, and more. The Juneteenth Independence Revolution is a free event for the entire family. Sunday, June 18th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., come to Africa Town in Lamert Park to celebrate Black Independence Day. The Juneteenth Independence Revolution is brought to you by Africa Town Enterprise, the African Village Vendors Association at Lamert Park, Black Lives Matter LA, Downtown Crenshaw, and Destination Crenshaw.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
And Attorney Nana Gyamfi is with us this morning. I've asked you about Black immigration. We've talked about the indictment of the former president on federal charges, and we've also talked about here locally in LA the situation with Councilmember Curran Price facing some pretty serious charges from the LA County District Attorney, and of course little Anadith Reyes in the situation with Black immigration. What do you want to choose to close with today?
So we've got to be encouraged. That's what our communities deserve. That's what our communities need. They need us to be encouraged as we continue to fight all of the structures of oppression that result in the things that we've talked about, in this hour. We can't do that from a position of being sad and depressed and unhappy and defeated and that energy, right? It's got to be the energy of resistance and resilience, which is the energy of Juneteenth and the energy of freedom and the fight for freedom that we've been engaging in this country and everywhere around the world. And so, I would encourage people to be encouraged, to reach out to one another, to do what you need to do to be able to stay in a positive state of mind, to be organized, and dare I say it, Dominique, to stay woke.
Say it, dare to say it. I do think also that many times we as Black people are we're so desirous of being, upstanding and being fair that we forget that people are innocent until proven guilty. Especially Black people. We rush to judge. I think we rush to judgment against our own people faster than even racists do sometimes. So I think, grace and remembering the presumption of innocence. And as you say, staying encouraged. We can reach you at Baji Tweets on Twitter.
Yes, at Baji Tweet, and on Instagram at InstaBaji, and you can reach me on both at Attorney Nana.
Attorney Nana Gyamfi, always a pleasure to talk with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. I love it. Love talking with you. Thank you.
As do I. Going to Jim Brown here, the decision-making process. Eliminate the negative, establish the facts, and choose your best option. Tavis Smiley's next. He's got a blockbuster show on deck for you right now. I'm Dominique DiPrima. History is now, and we are making it together. Until tomorrow, be safe, be well. One love.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mike Moore. Next to South Carolina. A heat advisory is also in effect for southern Texas, where the feels like temperature